right, give it one more time for Brian. All right, you Tennessee hillbillies are in for a real treat with this next comic. He comes to us all the way from New York City, Mr. Martin Dove.
I know you from Ider. For those of y'all don't know, that Ider's where all my cousins got married. To my other cousins. Ider Hornets. And I see we got a brother in here, Marcus.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, I live in New York City, and I got to apologize. There's certain jobs out there, and one job that is out there is cat cardiologist. That's my people's fault. I won't lie to you. I got a lot of brothers who are friends, and they ain't got one of them got a cat that they would send to a cardiologist. They'd be like, Fluffy, you're going to die. So anyway, we're talking. I'm from Sand Mountain. I live in New York City. And in New York City, they look at me and they say, well, Martin, you're an awful fancy, you hillbilly. We thought y'all was too busy fucking your cousins to make any good fashion decisions. I said, well, thanks to Sears and Roebuck, you can do both. I come from the kind of people that dress up to go to the Olive Garden. You'll always hear one mama say, don't get no sauce on that shirt, son, you're wearing it to church tomorrow. And I shouldn't make fun of the Olive Garden, because where else can you go to watch women lick garlic butter off of dick-shaped breadsticks dipped in Alfredo sauce? And you know they did that shit on purpose. Back in 1983, there's a fellow with a clipboard, and he said, we got lasagna, we got spaghetti and meatballs, we got fettuccine Alfredo, what do we got for bread? Little guy walks up and says, we got some biscuits. Says, no, that'll never work. We're shooting for a much more sophisticated crowd at the Olive Garden. Shape them like dicks. They'll be easy to stick in this stuff. And I'll tell you what, there's some young men in here. You young fellas, if you have a girl that you feel special about and you want to get serious, take her to the Olive Garden. See how she handles a breadstick. And if she asks for something in pumpernickel, you might as well just give up. I don't know about you Chattanooga girls out here, or ladies. New York City, them women are modern. I know this because I was out with this gal, and I got her liquored up. She started feeling sexy, so I took her home. First thing I noticed when she was naked was her cooter was shaped plumb ball. Now don't get me wrong, I understand the importance of personal landscaping, but hell, who mows their grass right down to the dirt? And then you got physics involved. I mean, if you got a little bush there, you whip them panties off and you can get down to business. If she's flying a bald eagle, then you got to peel them off. It just changes the mood. So y'all probably been through this. I was talking to a person, and they were like jibber jabber, yabber, 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 and finally I just thought to myself, are you the sperm that won that race? What came in second? Autism? Then somebody in the audience always gets mad at me. Martin, I got a cousin with autism. And I say, why? Since 1973, you can make a choice. A literate audience. I always like that. So if you have a cousin that's got to wear a helmet to breakfast, don't get mad at me. I'm pro-choice. So I saw a Southern family in Times Square this summer. And I know they were Southern because Mama was wearing a tube top. And And I promise you, that's one article of clothing Walmart will not run out of south of the Mason-Dixon line. And she wasn't a little woman. She looked like a beige Easter egg with a purple rubber band running around her. And she walked by, and I swear this is true. On her back, on each shoulder blade, was tattooed a little angel's wing. I thought to myself, I don't know if that's a good decision. I don't think them's big enough to get you off the ground. And her son was wearing a t-shirt that said, "Only God can judge me." Led me to believe he'd not been introduced to the American justice system just yet. There ain't no shortage of judging there, and I know this for a fact. I got in trouble in the great state of Delaware several years ago, and I learned a valuable lesson. I learned that if you drink enough Maker's Mark, you too can navigate a Camaro that's on fire with nothing but the airbag. And the next morning I was arraigned. So I was telling y'all I'm from Sand Mountain. I'll tell you about my first date with Uncle Buddy. I didn't have the date with Uncle Buddy, and he gave me some advice. I came down the stairs, had my little tuxedo with my little tie, my little bow tie. I walked down there, and Uncle Buddy's sitting there with a Marlboro 100 and a 16-ounce can of Budweiser, and he says, "This your first date, son?" I said, "Yes, sir, it is." And he said, "I got some advice for you." And I said, "What's that, Uncle Buddy?" And he said, "Well, if it smells like a bad jar of mayonnaise, don't stick your butter knife into it." All right, y'all, I am Martin Dove. Thank you so much, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
One more time for Martin Dove. Boy, he looks slick, doesn't he? He moves out of the country and buys the damn suit. And got that slick smile too. I could just see his face with that slick smile on a billboard. Have you been in a car accident? Some 1-800 number right below his face. All right, we're going to keep it going with our next.